Little race corner here, man. Hoo-wee. The old shock tower. How many dudes bring extra shock towers with them? Man, I don't know. This is like my 8th or 9th race, so I just bought another kit and just threw a bunch of stuff, bunch of bags from it, you know, into my parts, and thank God I did, man, because I needed a shock tower. I took a gribble, and as I'm changing out the broken A-arm from the gribble, I'm looking at my shock tower and the thing's sideways, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, do I have one of these? These are really hard to bend back. This is probably a goner. This is my little souvenir. I think I'm just gonna like hang it up or something, you know. Super thick part. Would have sucked to bend it back. So I had to get another one of those in the nitro buggy. But welcome to Craig's Race Corner, you guys. My name's Craig, High Desert Agro RC. And just got back from first summer race. Pretty interesting run. You know, up in Spokane, in the Spokane Valley in Washington. What's the Pacific Northwest famous for? Rain. So, yeah, man, this was the first time I've been to a rain out. And you're not expecting to get rained out, so it just comes out of nowhere. Okay, short version. We got a full day of practice in. Talk about that day. Practice is gnarly. For me it is. I don't know, something about practice, it just kind of messes with me a little bit. Like, it's just kind of chaotic. There's a lot of people up on the stand, and you know, there's never, you know, running nitro, and I gotta, you know, set my car just find someone to set my car down, or set it down myself and keep blipping it, hoping it doesn't flame, and try to run up there and get a spot. It was always stacked up there for every 8th run. So we actually got a good amount of practice in. That was cool. That was totally doable. You know, all day Friday. We had all day to get our shit together. So that was fine. I just couldn't find a good line that I can do consistently. It took me like a really long time to like say, all right, I can do this, I can't do that. There were a couple jumps that were hard for me to get through. There was a big double in the back stretch of the track that was hard to line up for. I had difficulty with that. I don't think I did it once. And then so yeah, it was just and just, you know, getting your stuff ready all day. I eventually, at some point, I got some help with my tune. I'd be pulling my cars off. I'd be at like 280 and 290 even once, and I knew I was too hot somehow, so I kept trying to reach in the high, but it was my low that was way off. So I got some help there with my tune, and that was cool. What I do when I go to races is I just set up right up front. I just put my little thing up right as close to the front as possible. I'm almost like a doorman, and like everybody walking by can see what I'm up to. I like that. I really like that. I talk to a lot of people at the races, and it's just a good, for me, I think anyway, it's just a good spot to be, because a lot of times I'll be sitting there working on something, and yeah, dudes will roll up and ask, you know, what's going on, and I'll tell them, and they'll help me out. So I got help with my tune and everything. So practice, yeah, at the end of the day, I finally, like, you know, got a couple lines together and this and that. So yeah, it's a great track up there. I didn't get any video, nothing, because we got rained out. I usually just, last few times, I'll just put the head camera on and try to get a video of a main race. Those are fun to get videos of. But so we ran our practice day, and then, all right, so let's just get into the next day, round 1 of qualifying. So I was in 3 classes, 2 nitro buggy, 1 nitro truck. Call it a truggy. So we got to run one full round of qualifying, and then about less than half of a second round before we got hit with a rain squall. Damn, it was gnarly. So the track up there is made mostly of there's a lot of clay in it, and it just took on way too much water for it to be salvageable. There was no way. So right when we started qualifying, I felt like I was doing better. It was just less chaos on the driver's stand, and yeah, it was moving along pretty good. I broke A-arms on the truck and the buggy, so I did 2 A-arm jobs. I bent a rear shaft in the truck there. Had to bend it back at night. So, did a couple jobs. These were turning the whole damn time. People would look over and I'd be over there in my pit getting her done. Got her done. It was cool. I like that. I like having to do jobs during a race. That's the true race experience. So A-arms will break. Everyone brings a shitload of those. But this shock tower, man, I was not expecting to bend that. You can see little Mr. Bendy bend for the 100th time I'm showing that thing. I'm just so stoked I had that part. It's like when you have a part you don't think you have, like the clouds part and angels say your name. It's like you can't believe you had it. So talking about the first round of quals. So yeah, qualifying was good. I think for the first time I went out there, I just went out by myself and set my buggy down and and then just kind of kept blipping it and had to go up there. It was already full of dudes. It was hard to find a spot. And then the next time I went out, I actually just asked someone, hey man, I think I asked someone that was next to me if they could set me down and just kind of spot me for a qual. They're not pitting for the entire time. I mean, these dudes that I asked were just driving e-buggy, so they didn't know how to pop the car or anything. I did show them, but I brought someone out with me. I didn't shoulder tap someone out there. I brought someone with me, and they just hung with me, and I drove way better. When I actually had someone down below, just kind of watching me go, I just felt like I was way more consistent. So that was just a kind of a curious observation about, I don't know, I felt like I had a little bit of crew underneath me there, under the driver's stand, and just when I had a set of eyeballs on my car watching me, I felt like I drove a little better. It was weird. It's interesting. I always just kind of make notes of what, how my head works when I'm at races. Just the smallest little things can make a big difference, and I think that might be something I might do if I can from here on in, is just when we're muscling our way out there, even for qualifying, just ask for a bit of backup from somebody standing there. Just ask them to set me down, and I usually know what they're up to. If they got a long time between heats and they're just chilling out, it's usually someone just next to me that I can just ask to set me down, and I can even show them how to pop the car if I flame out. And they were more than willing to. They were excited to be down there, so it was cool. My best qualifier, I'm really happy to say, was with the nitro truck. I'll just show it here. So nitro truggy, you can just see that. Hopefully that focuses at some point. I know it's kind of weird, the bubble camera. So race 26, nitro truggy heat 1. So I had 9 guys in there. So already that's not bad. That's not like a full psycho driver stand like during practice when there was always 13 people up there. So the top ripper did 12 laps, right? 12 laps. Harley Yoshi. 12 laps. And then I eked out 10. I eked out 10 laps to the top ripper's 12. That's the moral of the story. That was my best qualifier. The nitro truck class was all all rippers, you know, all dudes that are in like expert nitro buggy and everything, open nitro buggy. So I was like definitely the only beginner driver in nitro truck. I am going on my 4th race season, but I still haven't hit the double-digit number of how many races I've been to. This might have been 8 or 9. So that was a good run to just have stayed alive out there. I started just kind of trying to get over some of the jumps, like some of the ones that I was having trouble with. I was dialing in, and I had someone down there that set me down and just stood there while I was driving. And again, I just drove way better than if I just kind of fumbled out there by myself and set it down and hopefully I didn't flame. I'm just be thinking about that when I'm up there. And just when you're running nitro, it is damn nice to just have a little bit of crew out there, even if you just meet them there. If they're just sort of in your corner and on your side while you're having your run, it's like really, really helpful. So I was really happy with that run. You know, I always had my temp gun, and I brought my truck in at the end of the run. I was at a good temp thanks to this dude who gave me great tunes on my stuff. That was kind of the highlight of the first round. Before the truck run, I had a Sportsman nitro buggy heat. I did 7 laps. I think I flamed. I think I flamed on that run, and I didn't have anyone down there. So once I walked off the stand, you're done. You're out of the thing. So I just had to put my car back and then get ready to go back out and marshal. And then in the 40 nitro buggy run after this run, I gribbled up the A-arm and bent the tower. So I got 5 laps there. So I did the math and I missed out on so 2 qualifiers. In the second round of quals, I just got 1, so that was 2 that I missed out on. And then the next round of qualifying, round 3, would have consisted of I guess 3 more races, so that's 7 races, and then our mains, which would have gotten me 3 more races. So that's 9 races that I didn't get to race for the whole weekend. Whew. That don't feel good. It doesn't. 115 drivers had to walk away from like anywhere from 9 to 12 races, you know. That's gnarly. God, that's so gnarly. But it's a gamble we take when we sign up to do an outdoor 8th race. So that's like, that was a wrap at that point, man. You know, at that point after the rain squall hit, you just try to chalk up what was cool, what you noticed. And that's what I noticed, really. That's mostly what I learned on this run, was that if I'm running nitro, it just felt good to like shoulder tap a little kind of mini pit person, to just have someone down there while I'm running. It was cool. This other dude that I shoulder tapped, he was super new, and he was just running 1 class at the beginning of the race, a 2-wheel class. He had his associated 2-wheel buggy there, and he was just in 1 class. So I met him early on, and he was kind of hanging out up front. His people weren't there to set up their camp yet, so he didn't have anywhere to hang out really, and he had lots of time, and I asked him to set me down during my one of my buggy qualifiers. I think it was the one where I gribbled up the arm and bent the tower. I got like 5 laps in, but it was going really good. He set me down, and I was just having a great time, like partying with this dude. We weren't even on the headsets, but he was so excited to be down there, like in pit row. Like, he couldn't believe it. He looked like he was backstage at a show. He was just like super pumped. So, and it was just good. I felt like I was driving the buggy way better. I mean, I look at my times and stuff, and they're still like pretty slow, you know, like we can see how we all did, and I was like way down there in lap time still, you know. But I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't really crashing, and I wasn't crashing anybody else. And those are my main rules, is to just let dudes go by. It's like all I can do. I don't think I passed a single person at a race. I still have to practice a lot to just understand how to throw down speed with these things, but it's a slow process, and one I'm willing to undertake. So we're all sitting there, it's rain, the rain stops, and everyone just kind of, we're all still there, and I mean, that's it. It was pretty much a wrap at that point. You're just pretty much going over, like, what did you take away from this? So there it is. I just went over it. That's what I took away. But also just talk to a lot of people. That's what I go to the races for, the people. I go there to I'm just curious to see who shows up, what they run, and to me it's just like this interesting people watch in the radio control car community. It's small, and you see the same people, but you also see other people. You might see the same people at races, but if you go consistently, you'll just meet new people. And I did. I met a bunch of people. There was a few people that were really cool that I met, that I talked to for a long time. They would be walking by, and before I knew it, we're leaning up against my thing and talking for like a long time. And those are like the connects I'm looking for right there. I call that a connect. And I made a lot of them, and that was cool. That was really cool. It was just because of where I was set up. If I was set up in the back, like away from all that, I wouldn't have made all those rad connects. And I made a bunch of them. And just showing that you're there, I think, is already like, you're kind of winning, really, when you just, you went out of your way to go there, and everybody's obviously working really hard to get through it. And so everybody knows everybody's working, all the way from the fastest dudes to the super low level dudes, kind of like myself, kind of like the people I shoulder tap to help me. We're all there, like, working to make it through our events. So yeah, it was cool just making connects. That's one of the things I enjoy about going to races. It's like you're camping with 100+ people, and so eventually you will talk to some of the people, and and I just choose to be like right up front when I go to these things, so I can just talk to as many people as possible. And I do, and I always come away with just a lot of good interaction, just talking to dudes at the races and stuff. It's like a convention, man. You just want to be there, dude. So, but you also want to learn when you're actually racing and stuff, and be getting better at that. So I felt like I did a little bit of both. I felt like I was able to get faster as my quals were progressing, and I was really excited to keep plowing through. Slowly but surely, I was shaving a couple seconds off my times, and things were getting better. What takes a long time for me is just finding a line. It just takes me a long time to start even trying to do something that's like a little quicker. It just takes me a long time. The really good guys can find their line like fast. Within just a couple laps, they're doing the best thing they can do. It'll take me, like, I won't even do it during practice, and that's like after running all day. Like, I don't know, it felt like I found what I was able to do finally during quals and stuff. So it just takes me a long time to figure out, what I could be capable of on a consistent basis. So, but it's just fun. It's just like it's a journey into your mind, really. Racing is, man. It's such a mind thing. It's a journey into your mind, and I'm all about that. It expands your mind, man. It really does, dude. For sure. So, after that little, it is a trip. It's like you're going on a trip, most definitely. So, we're going through round 2, but then everything stops. We get hit with the rain squall, the RD. Guys, scatter. Get hit with the rain squall. The whole thing is scattered. Everyone's scattered. And like when you're at a race, it's like for 3 days you're you're almost like putting out a fire for 3 days. You're going, depending on how many classes you're in. But everybody's working. Even if you're just running a couple classes, you still have to like constantly be looking to see like when you're up again. And it's this thing that just doesn't stop the whole time you're there. So when we got hit with the rain, man, like I scattered a bit of gear, just made sure it was all right. And then I got on my truck and I like seriously just nodded out. Like I fell asleep for like 10 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, how am I asleep at a race? Whoa. And like when I woke back up, man, like the whole momentum of everything I've been working on was just gone. Like I felt like I was back at square one. Like if I went back on the track, I would have had to have like relearned everything. Like it took me so long to like find a line, and just with that thing just suddenly getting stopped like that, it just like all the momentum was gone. It was just a trip. Like I've never been at a thing where we had to just stop everything like that. So that was a trip. Just like all this, everything you've been working on, you just like forget what you're up to, kind of. I mean, you know why you're there, but at the same time you just kind of lose that momentum. Like I don't know, we're all putting out a fire at a race, and then but when that fire suddenly goes out, you're like, where am I? You know. So yeah, that was like Saturday, you know, like by like early afternoon we were done. Like it rained, and then we didn't know it, but we were done. But a lot of people hung out. There was some gear on hand to try to do something about it, so most everybody stayed. And then we just, you know, spent the night again. I bought some tires, maybe as like a job to do, because I didn't have to do any jobs. My cars were ready for mains. I still have full tanks of gas in both cars that I have to pour out that were ready for main day. Or because we actually did think there was a chance we would run our mains. The weather looked good for the next day, so we knew quals were done, but everybody thought there was a chance that we would run our mains, so we all got our shit ready. And then so I actually didn't have to do any jobs, so I just, you know, hung out, walked around. Always like to go to the HRCR trailer, buy a bit of gear. I bought some tires, and then just for something to do that night. And then you just hang out, you know. Dudes would come up and look at the track, and I'd be sitting there, so I'd pretty much talk to everybody that walked up and looked at the track. And then, you know, 11 o'clock, 11:30, boom, bed. And then the next day, like, it was still pretty thrashed, and then so just, but you know, we stayed and just at least tried. A bunch of people got out there and kind of mucked around a little bit. I took my shoes off and got out there and tried to brush some of the mud and clay and stuff, and to like make little diverting pools, and there was a lot of water, but I don't know, we tried, but that clay just took on too much water, you know. Our feet were going like that deep in some spots into like clay and water. It was unsalvageable. So got out. I mean, that was it, you know. Just I'd already kind of been packing up, so it was no thing to just peace out for my little spot up front, best spot in the house. And you know, other dudes are leaving. No really heavy goodbyes or anything. I mean, leaving races, everyone's just kind of packing up. They don't want to forget anything. So I'm of the mind of not really hike around and do too many like goodbyes or anything. You just kind of pack up quietly, again, not getting anyone's way, and just you know, that's it. So left there, opened a kombucha, and just decided, man, I didn't even know I didn't work on Monday until I was there. I didn't even realize it was like Memorial Day weekend, man. That stuff just flies over me. Like, I think I knew it was a 3-day weekend on my way up there. It somehow just clicked. Oh, whoa, Memorial Day. And I actually even had to look on our company website to see that we didn't run on Monday. Like, I never know what the holidays are ever. So like I was like, man, I have another day. So I was like, fuck, dude, I kind of want to just stay out on the road. I have all my stuff. So I decided to pull a like a Dumb and Dumber where they drive the wrong way a quarter of the way across the country. I decided to drive the wrong way halfway across our state of Oregon to another track over in the valley, hoping that they would still kind of be there after running today. Because I had all my stuff. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to see if I can camp out at I-5. They just opened, and so I tried to make contact with some of the people there. There's a spot on the freeway where it's like, head south or head that way. I was just like, screw it, and just fucking headed back to Portland and down the I-5 corridor, man. I was like, dude, fuck it. I have all my stuff. I have like one more night of food. I can stay out for one more night. So when I got there at like 7 o'clock, there was no one there. So, but it felt good to try. God, man, I just wanted to run some more. I didn't want the weekend to end, so I tried. It would have been cool to have ran these bad boys on another track. Just get some more driving in. Of course, the weather is like hot and beautiful on the way down, like a normal summer day, you know. Still was like shocked that we got rained out up there, and but you know, that's, and then all right, so I drank a couple Red Bulls like on the way down, starting to feel a little drowsy, like leaving Spokane. I'm like, dude, I gotta get amped up again, and you know, try to see if I can throw a couple more chapters into this run. So, you know, gassed her up, got a couple tall sugar-free RBs, took him down, man, and just drove, well, all right, from Spokane back home, it's about 6 hours. So I ended up driving for a total of 9 hours yesterday. It was gnarly. My knee started to hurt. But I tried, you know, to just stay out, and it's possible. You know, to actually, you know, go and practice and stay out at these, and just, I mean, a new track just opened, and practice is important. So, you know, I got to kind of, I was telling another guy, I pieced together my runs, you know, to just try to at least always be driving, whether it's, you know, carpet cars or, I mean, carpet racing, or our local track down at Lapine. You know, I can practice a bit down there. It's like I run with multiple crews. I go all over the state to run RC just to get a bit of, you know, as much wheel time as possible. And I actually got quite a bit leading up to this race, so I was happy with that. And I know I have to just sneak in a lot of that to always have a radio in my hand and just always be trying, man, you know. So when I rolled up to the track, the other track that I drove a long ways to, I wasn't bummed, because I at least tried, you know. I at least tried to see if anybody would be there, and it looked like they just probably, it was Sunday night, it was 7 o'clock, so they probably just got done running earlier that day and everybody went home. So it was like, it's cool. I tried. I knew I could have made it happen if somebody was still there. They would have let me stay there, but it was like a, you know, like I'm on the road, like I'm chasing the Grateful Dead or something, you know. I remember seeing those people like in Eugene, Oregon back in the early 90s when I first moved here, the people in the parking lots at the Dead shows. I'm one of those dudes now at RC races, most definitely, and it's fun as shit. It's really fun, you know. It's really fun going out and road dogging with your RC cars and crew and stuff, when you can actually go out of town with friends and stuff and go to races, or even just going over to, you know, when we go over and practice on carpet and stuff, you're with a buddy, a little crew there, and it's really fun hitting the road to do this. So, yeah, that was, you know, just summer race journal entry number 1, y'all. I'll get her unpacked here. Nothing's really broken. I just have to pour some gas out. And yeah, I mean, as far as how the cars performed, they performed fine, dude. You know, they performed fine. I mean, I'll go over when the dude helped me with my tuning my engines. He gave me a lot more. He richened my low, and I could feel the difference. I could feel that there was more gas going in there. So before on my tunes, it just felt like I was just a little light on the gas. When I would gas it, it just felt like there wasn't enough, like a lot of fuel hitting that engine. And now, with a different tune, I felt like I was able to load it up more with gas and just kind of keep it more pinned in a way. Like just keep on that throttle more. Just keep slamming fuel into that thing, and it made sense after a while. And it just made me more confident in just pushing these bastards and just keeping them fucking, just trying to keep it pinned, man. So, yeah, I learned a lot about the nitro car driving experience by having a different tune other than the one I could do, and hopefully some of that'll carry over into my next event, which is in like a month. I might do the same thing again. I might just do the same exact classes again. I just I like how I talk to people when I run nitro classes. Dudes always roll up and see what I'm up to. I have so much work to do with just learning how to tune and stuff that I just want to keep at it, and so I don't know. I kind of like this run of just concentrating on nitro. It's just what I feel like doing right now. Is just trying to get good at running nitro classes, and when I mix that with running electric classes, it just takes away. It pulls my head out of trying to make sure that my all that stuff's right, and then so also I had a bit of trouble like with with just some of my electric stuff at my previous arena race. It just kind of messed with me a little bit. The nitro problems actually seem like they're a bit less when your electrics start messing with you in your electric cars. I don't know where to run to when that happens, and it's just not something that I want to experience at an out-of-town race at this point in time, or a solder comes loose or something. So I guess it just depends on who you go with too. If I actually have buddies that I'm going to meet up with up there, we can kind of pre-plan like how we can help each other. And then it's good that I have electric cars that I can kind of fall back on, maybe take a couple buggy classes and run the electric truck. That's totally fine. But if I'm road dogging by myself, just throw the nitro cars in and just get up there. So yeah, man. Well, all right. My name's Craig. You guys, thanks for having a little chat with me. That's my recap. It got rained out, but still learned a lot, man. And the next one's in a month, so cool. There's the redemption right there. That month will be here before we know it, and we'll be right back out there, man. Right back out in the mosh pit, having fun. Later on.